All right, you are rocking with the Rock live on the air. I have the famous voice of Foreigner, Mr. Lou Gramm. Lou, how are you doing tonight?
Good, Mark. What's up?
Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm really honored that you're able to call in. I know you have a very busy schedule, but thank you once again.
My pleasure.
Now, I know you have a tour coming up. It's a brand new tour, a 14-city tour, and you start tonight in Shelton, Washington. How excited are you to be out on the road again, and what motivated you starting this tour?
We've been touring pretty steadily during spring and summer for the last 7 or 8 years, and this is our usual startup time, and we usually go till the end of October, and we usually cover about 40 or 50 cities. So maybe what you see on our schedule right now is just the beginning of it, and we tour pretty steadily. We do mostly weekends now, and we enjoy ourselves quite a bit.
That's great. Now, could you tell us a little bit about the band that's going to be touring with you?
Yep, my brother Ben on drums, Andy Knoll on keyboards, A.D. Zimmer on bass, and Michael Sterto on guitar. Those are all Rochester, New York musicians, except for my brother who lives in Manhattan. And it's good to play with the hometown boys, and we have a lot of great players in Rochester.
Will your twins be joining you for this tour? I know they joined you in the past doing some encores, a couple other tours back in the day.
Oh yeah. This summer they'll be out with us for a couple weeks. They're going to be 15 this year, so wow. I think this might be the last time they want to tour with us because their summers are filled up with sports and other stuff, you know.
Right. Now, what is your set list going to be like? Is it going to be a mix of Foreigner and your solo works?
It definitely will, yeah. Maybe with an old Beatles song thrown in there.
That's great. I'm actually honored to see you next Friday at the Levoy Theater here in Millville. I'm definitely going to check you out, and I'm really honored to have tickets to able to go and see this legendary voice of the 80s.
Thanks. We won't disappoint. I promise you that. We're gonna rock the house.
That's great. Now, I'm a fellow musician, so I have a question for you. How did you go about presenting new songs to the band when you were in Foreigner? Because your writing abilities are amazing, and you came out with so many great hits. Did you just present lyrics to them, or was it all a collaborative effort?
It was a lot of it was collaborative effort, and a lot of times Mick would present me with musical ideas, and ask me to put a lyric and a melody to it. And then there'd be sometimes when, for instance, Jukebox Hero, I presented to him the whole intro and the verse, and we collaborated on the chorus. So it can work a million different ways as long as you have that collaborative spirit and the willingness to give and take, you know?
Yes, absolutely. The chemistry was definitely there for sure. Now, speaking of one of your hits, I Want to Know What Love Is definitely was one of the greatest rock ballads, basically, people say it is. Did you know you had a classic on your hands when you wrote it and completed the song?
We were extra excited about it, and I don't know. There was this buzz, especially after the chorus was on, the choir was on it, and it was mixed, and it just listened to the mix, and it put chills in us, you know, and the record company presidents came down and listened, and we were getting slapped on the back as if we had a hit already, you know, when the reality is nobody knows if it's going to be a hit or not. So while we took their best wishes to heart, we still knew that it was anybody's guess whether it would catch on or not, and fortunately we scored a #1 hit around the world. Song, you know? Absolutely.
And speaking of hits, in 1976 you made your first album, coming from Black Sheep to Foreigner. And how did it feel to have the first hit? It feels like the first time, going from a local band now to a worldwide known band almost at that time with that big hit. How did it feel for you?
Well, it was fantastic, mind you. Although Black Sheep was a Rochester band, we had 2 albums on Capitol Records, and we were touring with the likes of 10 Years After and Kiss. You know,
right? That's great.
In those years, that was big guns, and we did see the world and played a lot of shows with a lot of important headliners. So I kind of felt seasoned already when I joined Foreigner, you know.
Right.
But I mean, Atlantic Records got behind Foreigner, which I think was the big difference, and really promoted them, and we did a lot of radio interviews and a lot of different things to get the wheels rolling, you know.
Yes. Now, because of your great work, you were honored last year. You were inducted with Mick Jones in the Songwriters Hall of Fame and performed Jukebox Hero and I Want to Know What Love Is. How did it feel when you found out that you were going to be inducted?
I mean, I was stunned. I always thought that the Songwriters Hall of Fame was reserved for Paul Anka and I don't know. I just felt it was. You know, I didn't understand that there was room for rock bands in there. I misunderstood what the Songwriters Fame was, but needless to say, I was incredibly honored, and you know, once I started reading about who else was in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, I saw that there were songwriters from all different genres, including rock. You know, and that there were a number of rock artists already in the Hall of Fame, and was just really thrilled to be part of it.
I mean, it definitely is a great accomplishment for your musical career. And I know in the past that you've went to say that Foreigner will never be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Now, why is that?
I said, pardon me, say that again?
You said that Foreigner will never be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I just felt that there were politics and there were things other than music that could possibly keep us from ever getting in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I mean, I guess you never know, but to my knowledge, I don't even think about it anymore.
Right. I mean, obviously, being in the Songwriters Hall of Fame is more, sentimental to you and a real accomplishment.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to be in the Rock Hall of Fame, but to my knowledge, I've been told more than a few people who know that end of things to not even bother thinking about it anymore.
Right. Now
So I don't.
Right, and I guess, like I said, it's just something you don't think about and you just move on and still have a successful career.
That's correct.
So back to the Songwriters Hall of Fame show last year, you did perform with Mick Jones for the first time in nearly a decade, despite some of your creative conflicts. How did it feel to be side by side with your old bandmate performing?
It was unbelievable, and he was playing great, and we rehearsed for a few days before the event, and got a good long time to sit down and talk with him and catch up and reminisce, and it was awesome. And we mended fences, and we now keep in contact with each other just on a friendly basis, and I'm hoping that there'll come a time when we can do something together, and I honestly don't care what it is. Just to create a song and maybe record together or something, or do a show someplace. I would love that, and as I understand, he would too.
Okay, so that goes into my next question. I was going to say now, as one of the original members of Foreigner, you left the band, rejoined the band, then left again. And would you ever consider rejoining the current lineup right now with Mick Jones, or is that something possibly in the works in the future?
They have a singer,
Right. I just didn't know because, eventually your relation with Mick Jones might get a little better. You might say, hey, join us for a couple shows or whatnot. I mean, obviously you just said you'd be all for doing something with him in the future.
Yeah, but I mean, to join the current Foreigner with another singer is not one of them,
Right.
That would be strange, I think.
Right, that's totally understandable. Now, as a lot of people know, you had some health issues in the past, but you're blessed that you're able to survive a brain tumor. And how does that affect you right now as a singer and going forth, still doing what you love?
Well, I mean, it's like it's been a number of years since I had the tumor removed, and it really was hell on earth for 4 or 5 years after the tumor was removed. My health was falling apart from the damage done, but I'm feeling really good now. The weight from the steroids is gone, and obviously I'm on a very strict regimen, and I'm loving life.
That's great. And is traveling around each tour, is that something that gets old after a while, or you still enjoy it?
I enjoy it when I'm not out for 10, 15 months. I like to do summer tours, and that's in April, and by end of September, early October, we're done. I like that a lot.
Right. And Lou, last year you gave away a new book telling a lot about your life, autobiography. I was just wondering, what's next for Mr. Lou Gramm? You have a tour? Is there any other thing in store for another book out there coming up, or some DVDs or greatest hits CDs?
I know that we're working on a lot of songs, so there's a chance of a new album. I don't know that there's anything to tell for a book. I've let that one out of the hat. So just basically stay busy, stay current, write songs, record, and spend time at home with my wife and children.
That's great. And Lou, I just have one more question for you. As a Foreigner fan, I would love to know, what is your favorite Foreigner song, and also your favorite album?
My favorite album is Foreigner 4, followed closely by the last Foreigner album, and I think Jukebox Hero is my favorite song.
Wow, well, Lou Gramm, I really appreciate you coming on tonight for Rock with the Rock here at SNJ Today at 12:40 a.m. and SNJToday.com. You can catch Lou Gramm next Friday here live in Millville at Levoy Theater on May 23rd. Lou, I appreciate your time. I know you have a very busy night because tonight's your first opening night on your tour. Thank you again for joining me here, and I will definitely see you next Friday. Thank you.
Appreciate it a lot, Mark. See you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was the voice of Foreigner, Lou Gramm. I'm so honored that he was able to come on to my program tonight on Rockin' with the Rock, exclusively on SNJ Today, 1240 AM, and SNJToday.com.